You for their entire life. Most owners believe they're doing everything right. Food, check. Water, check. A cozy place to sleep, of course, but your cat has been asking for something deeper. Something almost invisible. And if these acts go unnoticed, which for most owners, they do, you slowly lose a bond that was trying to grow stronger every single day. And here's the part that changes everything. Love to a cat doesn't look the way you think it does. Let's start with the one almost no one talks about. 1. Letting your presence feel predictable. What if the most powerful act of love your cat will ever receive from you is something so simple it feels meaningless? Routine, same time, same energy, same patterns. It doesn't look like love. There's no viral moment, no dramatic reaction, but here's what most people miss. Cats don't measure love in intensity. They measure it in certainty. Their nervous system is built around one question. Can I trust what happens next? When you wake up at a similar time, when you feed them consistently, when your movements and tone stay familiar, you're doing something invisible. You're removing uncertainty, and uncertainty to a cat feels like danger. So when your life becomes predictable to them, something subtle begins to happen. Their body softens, their guard lowers, they stop watching you and start relaxing around you. And what that leads to, we'll come back to at the end, because it's more important than you think. 2. Allowing them to choose distance. Have you ever tried to hold your cat and they simply walked away? Most people feel rejected, but what if that moment is actually a test? And this is where everything changes. Cats are not wired like dogs. They weren't bred to obey, they weren't designed to follow. They chose to stay around humans, and that choice means everything. So when your cat walks away, they're not saying, "I don't love you." They're asking, "Do you respect me?" And most people fail this test without even realizing it. They reach again, they pull them back, they insist on affection. But every time that happens, your cat learns something. They learn that being close to you means losing control. And a cat that feels controlled eventually creates distance. But here's the surprising part. When you let them leave completely calmly without reaction, you're doing the opposite. You're proving something rare, you're showing them they're safe to choose. And over time, they begin to choose you more often. Not because they have to, but because they want to. And that shift is the foundation of real trust, but that's only the beginning. 3. Speaking to them like they matter. Do you ever talk to your cat when no one's around? Maybe you greet them, maybe you say their name, maybe you explain what you're doing for no reason at all. It feels small, maybe even a little silly. But what happens next is surprising. Your voice is one of the most powerful emotional tools you have. Cats can recognize their owner's voice, not just the sound, but the intention behind it. And here's what most people miss. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. A softer tone, a warmer rhythm, a slightly higher pitch, that tone signals safety. It tells their nervous system there's no threat here. And over time, your voice becomes something more. It becomes a signal of comfort, a pattern they trust. A sound that lowers their guard instantly, so when you walk into a room and gently say their name, you're not just talking, you're regulating how they feel, and that builds something invisible that toys and treats never could. But here's where it gets deeper. Because love isn't just about safety, it's also about fulfillment. 4. Playing with their instincts, not just their attention. When was the last time you truly played with your cat, not casually? Not while distracted, but intentionally, because there's a difference between entertaining your cat and fulfilling them. And this is where most people get it wrong. Cats aren't just playful, they're hunters. Every movement, every pause, every burst of energy is wired into them. Stalk, chase, catch. That sequence isn't optional, it's biological. And when it's missing, something starts to break down. But here's what most people miss. A bored cat isn't just lazy. A bored cat is unfulfilled. That can turn into anxiety, restlessness, even aggression. But when you play with them properly, everything changes. You move the toy slowly. Let it hide, let it pause, you let them lock in. Then suddenly movement, they chase. They pounce, they catch, and in that moment, you're not just playing, You're speaking their language and something powerful happens. They don't just see you as the provider. They see you as the one who understands them. And that connection goes deeper than affection, but there's something else your cat needs. Something even more subtle. And hey, if you're starting to see your cat a little differently right now, that's a good sign. It means you're noticing the things most people overlook. So if this is helping you understand them on a deeper level, stay with me, because the next ones are the ones that quietly change everything. 5. Giving them control over their environment. Why does your cat climb to the highest place in the room? The shelf, the cabinet, the top of the fridge. It seems random, maybe even annoying. But here's what most people miss. Height equals safety. To a cat, being elevated means I can see everything. Nothing can sneak up on me. I'm in control. And control is what makes them feel calm. So when your cat searches for high places, they're not being difficult. They're trying to regulate their own anxiety, and if they don't have that option, they adapt in other ways. They hide more, they withdraw, they stay alert longer than they should. But when you give them vertical space, something shifts, they settle, they observe. They relax in a way that's almost invisible. And this is where everything changes. Because a cat that feels in control of their environment no longer feels the need to control distance from you. They come closer, they stay longer, they trust deeper. But there's one final act of love, and it's the one that brings everything together. 6. Becoming their safest place to be vulnerable. Have you ever had your cat fall asleep on you, not just sit, not just relax, but fully fall asleep, slow breathing, loose body, complete stillness? It's easy to overlook, it feels ordinary, but what's actually happening is extraordinary. Because sleep is vulnerability in the wild, sleep is risk. It's when defenses disappear, when awareness fades, so animals only sleep deeply, where they feel completely safe. And here's the part most people never realize. When your cat chooses to sleep on you, they are making a decision built from every moment before that, every routine you kept, every time you respected their space, every soft word, every moment of play. Every place you gave them control, all of it builds something invisible. And then one day, they curl up on you, they close their eyes, and they let go. That's not just rest, that's trust in its purest form. And remember what we talked about at the beginning. That subtle shift. When your cat starts to let their guard down, this is where it leads, not louder affection, not constant attention, but something quieter, something deeper. They stop watching you like a variable and start experiencing you as safety. And once that happens, everything changes, they follow you more. They stay near you longer, they seek you out without hesitation. Not because they need something, but because you became something. So if you take anything from this, it's this: your cat has been loving you in their language all along. The question is, have you been seeing it?